welcome back to D7R TV. I'm Carl, and this is the Teg, back on Teg duty. Hope you're all well, not suffering from that horrible, manky virus thing that I've just had to go over, that I know that a lot of people are suffering with at the minute. Still not completely over it, but I'm high in spirits, so let's go. In the last episode, I finished off the inner arch, got all the profiles right and everything, and then tacked into place the outer panel. As you can see, lines up beautifully along the swage line. It's all nice on the inner lip, perfect. So yeah, we're going to be welding it in, and you know how that goes. Zap, 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 zap. Not completely in that order, but somewhere along them lines. So we're going to try and even out the heat distribution. I've still got a little trim to do here and a few little bits and bobs, but in the last episode I trimmed out all the places where the tacks are compressed and started to warp the panel, so I relieved the pressure by cutting some of them, which was like mainly here. I had a little bit here. Probably needs a little bit more on there, but it's no biggie. It's not warped, it's not bowed, it's not sticking in, it's not sticking out. So, winning! Not gonna die a wheel. panel's now completely welded in. Fitment's all perfect. There's a gap in the door a little bit, but it doesn't quite sit right anyway. It's a bit too far forward, but that's probably something you can adjust on the hinges. So now it's time to use the flap disc and linish all these welds off, smooth them all out. Because I did this to the other side, it makes sense to do it to this side to keep it all uniform. So it's all spot welded into the inner arch. There's no gap between the two panels. Both sides of the inside panels are zinc primed, and I'll be using the Sikaflex to run down to bond it all in. So let's get to it.
Deep into the waves, babe. I know that you wanted to. It's a risk worth taking, even if it's over soon. Want you skin tight, close like denim. Come on, love me right. When it's ending, I'll be fine. I got your body close to mine. Call me if it's only for tonight. Your hands on my body, 'cause my body's what you like. I'm down if you're down to get it now. Call me, baby, if it's only for tonight. Call me if it's only for tonight. Your hands on my body, 'cause my body's what you like. I'm down if you're down to get it now. Call me, baby, if it's only for tonight. If it's only for tonight. Call me, baby, if it's only for tonight. If you need somebody, you know I'm the one for you. I won't tell nobody. Keep it on the down low, just us two.
Right, that's all linished off now with the flap disc, and because we've stitched it in different areas, you're going to get little pinholes, so you want to be welding them back in. So I've got them for the most part, but it's just good to go back in and then get rid of the pinholes. And you just tack over the top of them, then just linish them off again. Then jobs are good in. You don't want to be seeing any daylight through them, so considering there's probably 1,000 tacks across here. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Say 15 tacks to do on there. That's not really bad going. So, winning!
Shit, fuck the drama. You keep it coming, I'ma send you to your mama. It's the whip, quick clip, get the guns out. Dropping bodies into place till the sun's out. Can't fuck with me, so don't even try. Cause when the bullets fly, I'm the last one to die.
Main thing is, you get them all. addressed. So yeah, it's as simple as that. Double check, make sure you've done over everything. Anything that looks like it might need to be done, sit back, then go in afterwards. Sometimes it'll take a couple of tacks because you do grind quite a bit off, so it might end up being a little tiny bit thin. Sort of negligible for what I've done, so yeah, finish them off, then we can hit them with the little sander and make all that nice and smooth. We need to get this bottom profile right. The other side of this, I don't know where it's gone. The side for this, so this is the part we cut off. We're going to flip it round because then it'll mirror the other side. Get the profile where we want it to sit so it looks right. Then take a marker. Mark that round, so now we'll have the exact profile for this. So where the bottom of the quarter arch sits, it'll have the original profile shape, because at the end of the day you want it to look right. You don't want it all boxed off and square, because if you don't know what you're looking for, it doesn't matter, but if you do, it matters immensely. So that's done. This section here where the bumper sits, I've reprofiled the arch to follow suit so it mirrors the other side as well. What's next is get the other profile of the arch lip, and we're going to put the spot welds in, or the imitation spot welds as should I say, and then we're going to mark those out so it matches the other side. Use a marker, draw our holes, or where they're supposed to sit. We're going to take our center punch and we're going to punch in the imitation spot welds. Let's go. That's a arch lip off another car that we've done in the past. It's the opposite side, so this is the passenger side and we're on the driver's side. So it's going to work all the same. It just gives us a general idea. I'm just going to mark out where our spot welds are going to sit. Dropsy. So now we've got our positioning, we can now tidy it up, centralise it. I did give you the actual measurements on the other side. I'm not going to bore you too much with that. For this side, so yeah, let's get to punching. Right, so as mentioned, I've marked out the profile at the bottom here, so we're going to be cutting that in a minute, and then across the back here to get all the shape right so it looks factory fresh. So let's get to it. You know what time it is? That's right. Right then guys, so there you have it. Rear quarters are welded in both sides. So now it's time to tackle the underneath of the car. I've been dreading it, but it has to be done. And that's what it was here for. Still waiting on sill panels. Went there this morning to the fabrication company. They're all drawn up and ready. They just need to be laser cut and folded. And then we should have them at some point this week. But if I remove you off your little perch here, you can see I have got a ratchet on the exhaust flange, so that needs to be removed. We also need to remove the rear trailing arms both sides. No easy feat, because 9 times out of 10, if we can squeeze you up here, this bolt here snaps and then all hell breaks loose. So we don't want that to happen. But up in this section up here, you can see daylight, and there shouldn't be daylight there. We need to replace this box section here, where this hole is. So we've got to make patterns for that. Do some floor work, so we need to strip that back with a wire wheel, but we can't do any of that while the exhaust is in place. So we'll remove it down by the cat and remove the whole exhaust section. Same the other side, this section needs to be replaced. Again, rear trailing arm has to be removed. So if we get that done, should be almost time to be doing these sill sections here and removing these and then replacing them. This back section of the sill is not an easy feat, because the jacking point is here and it's a slightly different profile to the rest. So it's probably 15 mil recessed in from this point here. So it's normal to there, and then about 15 mil recessed in. And we have to do both sides full length. So we've had the fabrication company draw us them up. So there's 1200 mil sections, which should replace this whole sill sections here. Then we've got another, we'll have to fabricate a piece from another piece of this section to make the rear section, if that makes sense and you're following along. You can probably tell I feel a little bit better today. The virus is starting to subside now, so there's another bit we need to sort out. That is the floor section, and that's quite common on the Integra and the Honda Civic EG and EJs, EKs, and all that. It's a bit ropey up here. That might be just a rust converter and zinc primer job, but we're going to be replacing these sections here, and these are going to overlap the middle section. So still a long way to go, but we're going in the right direction. Hope you've been watching the videos and following along and enjoying what we're putting out so far. If you wanted something different, we also have the VXR video as well. If you want to use that as a bit of a filler in between the Integra videos. Yeah, it's all go at D7R, so let's get to it. You want to get your squirt juice on the go, your WD-40, and saturate everything you can. Any bolt that needs to come off, you need to saturate it. So I'm getting up behind the rear trailing arms and all that sort of stuff, and trying to get as much of this as I can in there. Nope. She's gonna snap. Onto the next bolt, and this is probably gonna do the same. Yeah. Just like that. well, that saves me a job and creates a job at the same time. Sort of lose-lose, but yeah, it is what it is. I could have been a boxer, you know. $14mm. Like a glove. Don't snap. Oh, that was nice. That was lovely. That's good, yeah. Apart from trying to get up in here. Oh, that was loose anyway, so winning. Reason why we're leaving this section in and not going off here is because you've got an exhaust temperature sensor there. Don't know if it's still attached or whatever, but saves messing about. Don't want to be losing that. Here's some weird groaning going on in the background. It's Fat Frank asleep on his bed. It sounds like a moon. Get off. Ah, Jesus. There we go. It's a looser than a night out in Iron Apple. If you're into that sort of thing. Alright, so we'll drop the middle hangers, which will be there in view. Vaguely, and then the exhaust should come off. Winning! Right, what we got here is a exhaust hanger tool. So this takes the rubber hanger off. If I can get it up there. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. But this is bent around quite a lot, so probably not going to win on this one. So yeah, 9 times out of 10, these work. You can get them off eBay, they're about 20 quid. And what they do is, that sits over the back of the hanger, and this pushes the hanger bar out, and then you should have a rubber left in your clamps. So this side was already off for some reason. It's a bit tight up there, so screwdriver time. Trying to get the rubber off the hanger. When they're old and perished, don't stab yourself in the face with the screwdriver. I think I've had enough incidents on these videos so far. Very eye-catching, these screwdrivers. Haha. Still don't want to come off. Oh, might be playing ball now. Hey, and she's off. Right, so now the car's been brought back down a little bit on the ramp. We have the rear trailing arm to contend with. And what we want to do is get some squirt juice on all the nuts and bolts we're likely going to be taking off. I mean, there's one up here. It's 14 mil. We want to take off lower control arm from the rear mounting point. If you can, try and loosen off the rear anti-roll bar as well. We're not actually taking the whole thing off. We're just going to be moving it out the way so we can get to the section that's up in the bowels and the floor section. But trailing arms in the way. And yeah, it needs to move. Before you get gung-go with the grinder underneath the car and the welder, make sure you take the carpet out. Otherwise you might have a bit of a problem. Especially when you're in flames. We don't want none of that. I mean, my work's fire, but the car shouldn't be on fire. So you want to remove the seat. And there should be 14 mil bolts. But for some reason down the line, someone has used an Allen bolt, like a round capped Allen bolt. And you know what? It was rounded off. So that's pretty balls deep. Makes my job a lot harder because I'm now going to have to drill it all out, which is a pain in the arse. I hate when people do stuff like that. But that's going to have to be drilled out. In the meantime, I should be able to take the other 3 bolts out. Hopefully I don't take the knuckles off at the same time. You want to peel the carpet out of your way. You don't have to remove it fully. But I know I've got to do some welding to the front of the floors. So the seat needs to go. And now I've just noticed that someone's used the same Allen bolts on the front. What idiots. Really, what idiots. I mean, they're not the best at the best of times, but I want to get this car completed sometime this year. And that doesn't help. So this is what I was talking about. It's a V5 hex head bolt. Don't use them, especially on seats, because if you over tighten them, they just go to shit. They're crap. Don't use them. Use M8s. Period. "14 years later, oh my god, when will it end? Oh. Don't use the bloody X heads, alright? Just keep drilling, just keep drilling, just keep drilling, drilling, drilling. Ah! Ah! Yes! Anyway, meanwhile down in the back cave. Right guys, I've had my meds. Temporary insanity is now vanquished. And we need to get this carpet out of the way. So, I took the liberty. There's some caps on the seatbelt pre-tensioner. Just flick it off with a flat blade screwdriver. Underneath that, you'll find a 14mm bolt. So get your socket on it. Undo and get it out of the way. Try not to lose anything, especially your mind. I know that's hard sometimes, but it is what it is. That's one nearly done. Gotta do this both sides. Just like that. There's the cap. Ensure you don't lose it by popping it back in. Get it out of the way. Then you've got the boot release and fuel filler release housing. And you want a posi drive to undo the screw underneath that. And again, there's a little cover on it. Flick it off with the flat blade screwdriver and get this out of the way. Don't lose it. Like so. Put the screw back in so you don't lose that either. It's good practice. Don't cross thread it because there's another. You see what happens when you'll need to drill it out. So just lightly pull it back in. Make sure you haven't cross threaded it. Don't do it with a screwdriver. There's no point. It just needs to hold it in place. And leave your bits and bobs out the way, and you can peel the carpet out of the way. From first inspection of the floor, it's in really decent shape, apart from the front where it's a bit like a Flintstones car. Fred would be pleased with that. I'll show you that in a minute, but there's some sort of box here. It looks like Cobra alarm. I need to get it out of my way. There's a big section down the front I need to repair. You can take the centre console out if you want. I don't think I need to do it, but it might be something that I'll address shortly. Figure out what side you want to work on and go from there. Again, on the other side, 14mm. Take the Jesus Christ. That's harder than Vinnie Jones, that. You want to undo the seatbelt pre-tensioner. Squawking like a good one. And from further inspection, it looks like I'll have to remove the whole carpet because the front's quite bad. The floor's rotten, straight across the seam between the bulkhead and the front of the floor. So I'll show you that shortly, but in the meantime, I'll get this seatbelt out of the way. When you're trying to undo a bolt, a and then it starts to get tighter and tighter and tighter, don't be scared to back off and go back the other way and tighten back up, because it'll save you a load of heartache on the back end. So I'm tightening this back up because it got stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. I sprayed some squirt juice in there just to try and help it along, so hopefully it's lubricated the threads. It's already a little bit easier to get out. Hopefully it gets past that point where it got really stiff. Stiffening back up again. Right, so about turn back the other way. And this might take you a while, but at least I don't want to be drilling this one out. I want to see my kids grow up. You know that age-old saying, CARPE DIEM, which translates to seize the day. Well, I got my own version of that today, and it's called CARPE DIEM, and that translates to seized today, because everything I've tried to undo has been seized. A bit like a bad day for the cartel at customs. It's a problem. It's exactly what it is. Every bolt gets tighter and tighter, like Scrooge McDuck. So I'm tightening, undoing, spraying. Jesus Christ. Lord, give me strength. In the end, I gave in to temptation. I usually like the hands-on approach, but the big gun had to come out. Luckily, it has a strip of threads, but it was taking far too long. It winds back in now, so it's going to get a shit ton of WD-40 in there, and it's also going to get some copper grease, because I'm not having that again. That was soul destroying. So now if I move some tack out the way, I should be able to get, don't know what that's for, it's a bit of fine art by the look of it. I should be able to get the carpet out the way. I'm going to take the centre console out to stop this from flapping back, but there's quite a bit of work to do on the front towards the bulkhead, and that'll all have to be addressed. So on to the next. I would say winning by now, but that wasn't a win, not the last few clips. So yeah, let's get to it. Right, back to actual work. Center console. Where the gear gaiter is, on this section here, there's a little plastic cover. Underneath that is two Aussie drive screws. And if you undo these, please be gentle. I can't take much more of it today. The handbrake cover should come off. It's been the easiest thing to undo on the car so far. On the Type R, there's an aluminium weighted gear knob, and underneath that is a 14mm retaining nut. So if you crack that off, you can pop the gear knob off. And then this one's missing it, but there's a couple more screws, one either side. You pull this up out the way, undo any cigarette lighter gubbins. There's a couple of little clips and stuff, just undo them. Then this is up out your way. Put your screws back in so you don't lose them, and job's a good one. So now if I move some of this stuff out the way, I should be able to, with a bit of luck, which hasn't been on my side of late, but move the carpet out the way. This should be split here, but for some reason it's not. It's simple enough to get out the way. So yeah, should be just enough wiggle room to get what you need done now. So, because of the light in this place, it's like Hades' lair, the underworld. It's all ultra dark because the light's beamed down straight on top of the car, which it's not very good. Light saturation's dark in here. I'm going to start tackling this back section. Now I can get that out of the way, and then what I'll do is I'll peel the carpet forward when I need to work on the front section, because that's quite substantial amount of rust in there. So, yeah. Right, carpet's out the way at the front, and it doesn't take a blind man and a wooden rocking horse to tell that that is not how that's supposed to look. So we'll have to move the carpet some more. But yeah, this front section of the floor is cabbaged. It needs to be addressed. There's a seam there. That's all rotten out. The carpet's nice and wet. Jokes. It shouldn't be wet, but that's where this little problem has made the carpet wet, because, as I said before, it's like Fred Flintstone's car. Carpet at the back. That's the section where you can see underneath. Looks like Mr. MOT guy has been kind enough to go ram a screwdriver through it or whatnot. I mean, it's got to be sorted anyway, but thanks for leaving the hole. And it's the same, the other side. Usually they're pretty rotten out at the back, but it's not awful. So it can be addressed. There's bits of surface on there. This car's really damp on the inside. I mean, you can see down there. This side's all wet. So yeah, I've definitely got my work cut out. There's a little sneak peek of the inner quarter panels we've welded in. I've got a zinc in there. I'm just going to get cavity waxed and all that good stuff. I'll pull these little wires off. Old welding wire. That'll all come out while I'm prepping it all down that back edge is all going to have the Sikaflex blasted down into it. So there we have it, guys. Today's episode's been emotional, to say the least. We hope you've been following along and everything's been nice, clear, and you can work from it on your own projects. If you like what we're doing, please like, share, subscribe the channel. It always helps out. I'm glad I'm feeling a little bit better, so my voice is a little bit more on tone and I don't sound like Ja Rule. But yeah, next episode will be all about taking trailing arms off and getting all amongst the back section underneath the floor. So stay tuned for that. And from me and Franco, that's fast asleep over there because he has the life of Riley. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.